Hi there, Karen here. Today I'm using my March Hip Kit to create a layout for the National Scrapbooking Day. I wanted to join in with one of the challenges, and this challenge was talking about embracing your mess. And I just saw a quick flash of the photos that I'm using there. As soon as I saw about embracing the mess, I thought of these photos of my little granddaughter getting herself into a wonderful mess with her food and running it through her hair. So I thought these photos would be perfect for that idea. And I'm also going to do a bit of mixed media, sort of create a messy background. Going through the papers, and I did look at this one thinking, well, that looks quite a messy sort of watercolory background, but the colours weren't right. So I thought, well, I'll better just get on and do my own. So I've started by gessoing the white cardstock, and then I've just picked out some spray mist. So the first one I used was Vibes Frostbite, and then this one you've just seen me spraying there. The second one is also a Vibes. They're both by Shimmers, and this one's called Deep Blue Sea. And then I've added a little bit of London Blue, which is one of the Dylusions mists. It's a watered down version. I just got a few bottles with because it's quite a bold colour. I have got a couple of bottles of them just diluted a little, so just started it off. I will add a little bit more a bit later on, but then I thought I'd use some of this paper. The papers I'm using, they're all from the March Hip Kit, as I say, and they're all from the Sunny Days collection by Maggie Holmes. And I'm just picking out the colours that go with the colour scheme I'm using, which is mainly predominantly blues, because there's quite a lot of blue in the photographs. But a few other colours that go as well. So it's not just entirely blue. And of course, there's quite a lot of blue in this kit, so it seemed to work quite well. And the second paper is this one with these beautiful butterflies. So I'm pussycatting a load of the circles or the parasols. That paper was called Parasol, and then the butterfly paper is called Blissful. And for backing the photos, I'm going to use this paper, this blue with the tone-on-tone blue hearts. And that's also by Sunny Days, from the Sunny Days collection, and that's called Saturday. So I'm just deciding to use this blue paper to back my photos. First of all, I was going to do them as a single piece, and then I decided to split it. But before I come back to that, I'm adding a little bit more colour to my background. I was really pleased how this background turned out. I'm not always that good at doing these mixed media backgrounds, but I really was happy with how this one turned out. And I just decided this needed a little bit more colour, so that there's a little bit more of the London Blue I'm adding there, I believe. And that's a little bit more of the Frostbite by Shimmers. Add a bit more of that lovely royal blue colour, and then just tapping them down just to soften the colour back down using some kitchen towel. So back to my photos. As I say, I was going to do them originally as a single packing paper. I was two photos together on one, and then I was looking at them and I'm thinking I'm going to actually split it. Back each photo first of all with some white tissue. It was a bit too dark. I like the blue, but it was a bit too dark right next to the photo, so I wanted to break that up a little bit by having some white tissue paper behind the photos. And I always like to add a couple of layers of the tissue just to give a nice softness to the photos. So that's it. The two photos are now covered, backed with some white tissue. And I'm just going to stick them on to the blue backing paper. And I'm still, at the moment, using it as a single piece. I think at this point that I decided I want to actually split the photos, not have them as a single unit, but actually put them at a slight angle to each other on that messy background. And you can see she's got herself in a right old mess with her food, and she does make me laugh when she does that. I love those photos. And I decided, because there was a bit of blue, a bit of red in the photos, because Lissy's actually wearing red, I wanted a little red in the background, and I tried doing this sprinkling effect, the splattering, and it didn't have any effect whatsoever. You could hardly see it. I'm using a Vibes. I've got a couple of reddish coloured Vibes. I'm not entirely sure which one I used. It's either the Mango Tango or the Carillion Sunset. I'm not entirely sure which one I used. So when the splatters didn't work out too well, I just used a little bit of the packaging. I didn't want to really spray it because I didn't want it to be too bold. I just wanted a little bit either side of the main blue colour, just so I got a little touch of red just to tie it in with the photo. So I'm quite happy with that little bit I've got there, using the packaging technique. So it's not very red. It's quite a pale washed out colour, but it just brings in that little bit of red in the photos, and that works for me. So I've decided to bring a bit more of the red in. I'm going to back the whole layout with a piece of red cardstock. So I'm just trimming this white piece down to I think it's 11.5 inches. So I've got a little bit of a border all the way around, and I think that red just works to bring in the red in the photos and brings it all together. So I'm just placing all my fussy cut parasols. They just look like circles to me. I just think they work quite well. I quite like the way they look around the photos. This layout came together really quite quickly. I just thought it worked quite well. Sometimes I labour for days over getting it all right, and this one came together in a very short space of time. I think just because the colours all worked, and I just liked all the bits and pieces. So I put my butterflies around, put my circles around, and I think, well, yep, that works. I like that. So just fiddling around with it a bit, but I don't do an awful lot of fussing with it. Just trying to decide where it goes, how it looks best. And I've got a few little hearts that I'm going to add in a moment as well. They're by Doodlebug. They're little shape sprinkles, they're called, and they're going to make an appearance a little bit later on. So now I'm just sticking down all my fussy cut pieces of all my fussy cut circles and butterflies, just sticking them down around the photo. So top left, bottom right. There's a classic design of diagonal layout. I've done this kind of top right to bottom left. No, hang on, top left to bottom right design quite a lot over the years. It works really well, especially when you've got two vertical, portrait shaped photos. They just work quite well. Just layered them up together and just surrounding them with a few little bits of fussy cut ephemera. So now, yep, I'm just popping in one pink one. I'm not going to put in a lot of pink. I just thought that worked quite well. It just lifted the rest of the colours, just gave it a little bit more, another little flash of colour, but nothing too bold. I didn't want to be over the top with the blue. I just wanted a couple of other colours in there just to soften it a bit. So there's a couple of bits of yellow and a little bit of pink. I'm just having a quick slap of my tea. And this final piece is going in. Now I'm going to stick my butterflies down. Just 3 butterflies. And actually, I did notice afterwards when I was doing the editing, I hadn't really thought about it at the time, but she does look like she's looking in the photograph, the bottom of the 2 photos. She looks like she's looking up at the photograph above her head and pulling her face. It was quite accidental. I wish I could say I did it on purpose, but I'm afraid I didn't. So now I'm just doing the title, and I'm going to put that in again. I'm going to put it all a bit all over the place, a bit of a messy title because it's all about being messy, and the title was also embracing the mess. Messy hair, don't care, because her hair really was one hell of a mess by the time she'd finished her food. So there we are. So I put the letters on in a bit of a higgledy-piggledy way to reflect the theme of the layout. And the alphas were also included in the kit. They are thickers, but are called Happy Day. I'm assuming they're from the Sunny Days collection. I don't know for sure, but that's what came with the kit. I think that works really well. They're a black, what would you call it? Puffy. It's like a puffy alpha. And these are the puffy stickers that also came in the kit, and these are Summertime. These are from the Happy Days collection. So I'm just picking out a few hearts that coordinate with the page, just popping them around, and I'm going to add a few more hearts from these Doodlebug sprinkles, picking out all the red ones because I wanted to just bring that bit of red in as well. I've got the red around the edge, the tiny bit of red in the background, and then these little splashes of red hearts mixed in with the blue ones. Just brings in that bit of red that's from the photos, and just gives a bit of a bright pop to the page. I think these little bits of red. And also, as you can see, I added a blue camera from the puffy stickers, from the puffy thickers, should I say. That blue camera just went in there because the colour went in quite well. And I just picked out, these are some snap, I suppose they're just phrase stickers. I just thought I'd pick out, there we go. I've had this pack of snap stickers for ages. Just picked out a couple of those. First one says nothing but love for you, because that's fairly obvious. And enjoy the little things. I just picked out a few things, but a couple of little phrases that just seem to work. And I'm just going to do a little border with my pen just to highlight them, because they rather disappeared into the background when I put them on. So I'm just drawing around them. And the final thing I'm going to do will be to add the date that these photos were taken. I always like to put the date on. I think it's important to know when things happened. I didn't do any journaling. I was thought about it, and I could have done, but I just couldn't really see an obvious place to put it, and I didn't want to. I thought that the layout stood up quite well on its own. It's pretty clear what she's doing. Love these pictures of my little girl, and I really enjoyed this layout. So thank you for joining me, and do join me again soon. Bye.